Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. In this week's market update, we'll go over the big three and two coins that have performed particularly well recently. Now, we didn't get the rally that a lot of people were looking for from consensus. So last week, Bitcoin was trading around 83.60, and we're talking about this chop that we expected to occur. So we're in a tightening pattern. We had this bracket pushing down here. We were expecting a bit of a bounce around the 20th, 21st. We're starting to get that now. The 4-hour chart probably shows this pattern a little bit better. This descending wedge that we've broken out of. We're starting to get some good volume on the rallies. But guys, we've got to remember in the scheme of things, we're still in a downtrend until we start to make those higher lows. So this area of resistance, I'll just zoom back out there. We're going to extend that across that really tough resistance that we've spoken about a number of times from all the way up at around 10,000 down to around 9,300 there. So that's going to provide overhead resistance again in the future when we tackle that, along with the 200-day moving average. Bitcoin's lost that 200-day moving average, you'll see when we compare to Ethereum and Litecoin. But this pattern's going to break, and it's probably not going to go all the way to the end here, to the start of June. We're probably going to get a good break before then, in the next week or two. So it really is D-Day now. If we can get a good push up from this cycle bracket now, as we're looking for, then we maybe pull back from that resistance, test this longer term log down trend line, and then blast on through. That'd be my perfect scenario. If we continue to roll over here early on in the piece, if we lose this log trend line, if we get a big volume sell off, okay, we'll be looking for that weakness to continue all the way here into the first week of June, guys. So look, I think the market internals are strong. I just want to show you this Wall Street cheat sheet that you're probably sick of seeing. But when you look at here and look at the emotion, I definitely think we are somewhere near the depression stage. If you have a look back at when the market sort of had these bottoms and we were lower in the price, the sentiment and euphoria feels worse, even though prices are higher. So I'm very interested in the comments below to get your guys' thoughts on all of that. So, we were at 6,000 and then we got down here and we nearly revisited here at 6.4. Here we are at 8,500, and people just are acting like Bitcoin's dead and it's not exciting. There's nothing there, and sometimes that's when those rallies can spark. We have maybe this is that wave one. We've had the wave two that we look for in Elliott wave, and at any moment when everyone's sort of hoping for prices to go lower, as you've heard me say, or there's no excitement in the market, even though we're actually a lot higher than what we were, that can be that catalyst for the wave three that we've been looking for a long time now. Once we're through 10,000, 11,000, all those market participants realize that, hey, the bottom's in. There's no more pullbacks coming, no chance to buy cheaper altcoins. All those sort of things start to, cascade into that emotion that causes a powerful wave three and could get us up around 15,000. So let's just take that off log now, guys, and head over and check out Ethereum. Last week we were trading at around 700. Pretty similar story here. We've just been chopping sideways on this daily chart. Just hovering around the 200-day moving average. As we said, Bitcoin's well below its 200-day moving average. Ethereum has been pretty strong. Let's just get out the fib retracement. Since we got to that bottom where we were pretty confident we weren't going to see prices below 340, that $300 level, Ethereum's held up really well compared to Bitcoin. So it's showing some strength. I think it's going to outperform percentage-wise to the upside. But obviously, if Bitcoin has that breakdown, then I'd still believe there's probably not enough reason for Ethereum to break that correlation yet. You guys know that when the markets mature, I'm very much looking forward to these individual projects that are doing different things, being recognized for what they're doing. Ethereum's building a world computer. Bitcoin is replacing the financial system, guys. They should not be correlated, but they just continue to display a high degree of correlation. Let's head over to Litecoin, guys. Now, we're looking for that bounce on the 12th of May there, guys. That's all we got. It's already rolled over. It hasn't really lost that level yet, but it's just looking weak. We compare Ethereum that's hovering around its 200-day moving average. Litecoin, similar to Bitcoin, it's well below that. It's not giving us any signs of life. if Bitcoin takes off, Litecoin is going to take off in percentage terms as well, I feel, guys. So, the markets feel boring at the moment. I think you guys would probably agree with that. Consensus didn't give us what we were looking for. It reminds me a lot of DevCon last year when everyone bought into Ethereum. People took up huge positions. There was going to be a rally no matter what. We were going to get good news. But just like DevCon last year, that was the first year everyone was really aware of Ethereum. And this year, I definitely think the mainstream was completely all over consensus, and we had mass awareness, and the rally's already priced in, guys. When everyone's already bought and expecting that rally and sitting there waiting at looking at the screen, waiting for it to go up, so everyone's got the same trade on. Remember, who's on the other side of the screen? Who's on the other side of that trade? All those things that we like to think about before we place our trade. So there was no price change this year, but just like last year with DevCon for Ethereum, once everyone unwound those positions and got rid of their expectations, the market started doing its thing, and Ethereum had a big rally ensuing in the following weeks. And I certainly think that Bitcoin at any stage now, guys, is going to have an explosive rally. You guys know that I'm a big believer in the fundamentals, the market internals, the macro picture for what Bitcoin's doing. All those things, all those reasons why we love it for the long term. So let's just go down the bottom and have a look at two coins that I believe actually had some good announcements and don't get the attention that they sometimes deserve. So the first one's Decred, and I know there's a lot of Australian guys that are working hard on this project as well, but not many coins, as you can see here, are up around their highs in December or January when the market really peaked and got that euphoria. And we see, this is a big volume spike here, but it's right around those highs. So Decred is a project I might talk about more in the future, but I definitely think it's underrated. I'm working on an updated version of my coins that I believe are underrated. That was the most popular video we've ever done, the top 10 underrated coins. Decred's definitely underrated, flying under the radar, doing good things. It's not flashy, it doesn't get the headlines and all that sort of thing, and sometimes they're those best projects that outperform in the long run. The other one I want to mention is Komodo. So I'm also working on a top 10 privacy coins list. I didn't realize how much work that was going to be, guys. All the different privacy mechanisms, they all have their strengths, weaknesses. The communities themselves have, pros and cons, and they'll tell you about other coins. So I'm really trying to do an unbiased balanced review of all the privacy coins. There's over 30 out there now, guys. But Komodo's doing privacy, private contracts, using other blockchains such as Bitcoin to back up. Very interesting stuff. So maybe this is one I'll talk about more in the future as well. But this is one that's starting to get a bit of an attention after a pretty big pullback. So, wherever you want to start this from, when you take it from its all-time highs, guys, it gave it all back. And these patterns, when it just grinds out this long bottoming process of where the price started, back in the day there with the big volume, and that's when we can see the next rally start to ignite. So this is a dollar chart of Komodo here, and those all-time highs up around sort of $20 there, and it's now trading for around $3.40, guys. So one to keep an eye on as well. Those privacy coins have got very strong communities. Some of them are very loyal to their coin as well and don't like other coins, vice versa. But that's what we're looking at this week, guys. Let's see if we can get that push up starting right now with that cycle bracket. And we'll tune in again next week, guys. So please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share these videos around. And as always, thanks for tuning in, guys. Cheers.